It's the new tradition, the Big Boy Morning Edition.
Welcome back. New sports tradition on your Friday morning, Big Boy Morning Edition. Maurice Prince, Ivory Towns. And Ivory, got a Hall of Famer in the studio, man.
We're talking HOF. Break out the gold jackets. What do they do for NAIA Hall of Fame? What, they give you a jacket? They give you a ring?
I don't know. We're going to find out soon. We're going to find out in March.
That is Miss Kesha Watson, ladies and gentlemen. NAIA Hall of Fame inductee, former Millwood Lady Falcon, former OCU standout. Listen, if you follow high school basketball here in Oklahoma City area, if you follow college sports in the area, you know all about this young lady. She was a monster. She put up big numbers on the high school and college level. And we're going to talk about that. Kesha, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Nice to have you.
And right now you're coaching, right?
Yeah, at Barton County Community College.
And that's in
Great Bend, Kansas.
In Kansas. Season going all right so far?
Yeah.
I mean,
we don't get started to official practice till October 1st.
Okay.
So we still got a little ways to go.
What are we doing? We training?
Training, conditioning, trying to get our minds right before we step out on the court.
Well, Kesha, I mean, listen, once again, thanks for coming out. I know your mother, your sister, everybody's still locked in with that Millwood Falcon family.
How can you not know them?
Right. That Falcon family is very loyal, and they stay together, man. And let's start right there. Let's start with your high school days at Millwood. When years did you attend Millwood High?
I actually started there in middle school.
In middle school?
That's when I first started kind of getting into basketball heavy when Coach Willis was there. Coach Willis was my coach.
Don
Willis.
Yeah.
He would like to say that I couldn't beat him in horse, but he was my competition. He the one taught me how to shoot that thing because he had a nice stroke. So we used to play in PE, play horse every day. So he really brought that competitive nature out of me.
And not only with Coach Willis, but at home, your parents, your mother, and your father were athletes and.
Yeah, not my mom. She was just a softball player.
Can we edit
that out? Can we edit that out?
Oh, not mom.
Yeah, she was a softball player and a cheerleader, as you can tell.
Pops was the baller.
Pops was the baller. He was a track star, football star, and basketball star.
There you go.
Yeah, so he had it all.
And he gave it to his daughters. I know you and your sister. Y'all the problems on the court.
Yeah, we try. We put in a lot of work, though. We put in a lot of work.
No doubt about it. Well, let's talk about your time at Millwood. We know who the Millwood rival is. That's not a question, right?
But which one? Is this Douglas a
you're
star?
You're right.
John Marshall?
We're talking Douglas because I went to Douglas there for a couple years also.
That's the pride of the East Side.
There you go. The battle for Martin Luther King is real
right
there.
No, it is. It's Oklahoma City's on Tobacco Road.
Y'all more Eastern, though. Y'all more Eastern.
Yeah, I guess you could say we're right before you hit Eastern. Say not really MLK.
It's still there.
We take over MLK.
Ooh,
we got the takeover.
Y'all hear that? Well, let's take us back. What do you remember about those days in high school and some of your big games and Coach Willis and just what he actually taught you to help you propel to the level you got at OCU?
What I remember at Millwood was the hot box. Playing in the small gym, the fans have to standing room only. Playing against the Douglases, the Star Spencers, the Demias from Star Spencer. That was always a rivalry. U.S. Grant was actually a rivalry back then with Danielle Ladd, which I ended up playing with her at OCU. But other than that, just having those fans out there with us in the hot box. I don't think the kids understand what the hot box meant.
Hey, I remember that. I went to Millwood too in middle school. It was a real deal.
It is.
Now, let me ask you this question. There's always a moment where you start to know things. You start to realize. And it usually starts, it can start at any time for any athlete. Every athlete's journey is different. For you, was it at the Millwood during high school that it began to, as they say, the game slowed down, you began to see things a little differently, or some element of your game opened up and you're like, there's something here that I know that I have that I can, capitalize on and take advantage of or develop?
I think it started my freshman year at Northwest Classen. We were playing on the road. That was my first time Miss Spears, because Coach Willis had been telling Miss Spears, put her in. I don't think, Miss Spears kept saying, I don't think she's ready. She's a freshman. Finally, she threw me in there. And I just remember that moment is where my life changed. It was like, okay, you got this opportunity. Now you got to take advantage of it. So I think I scored 12 points or something within 2 or 3 minutes. And then that's where my mindset changed. Like, okay, well, I might have something. I just got to continue at it. So I think that's when it really overfold.
That's a very special time for any athlete when you realize that as you said, you found a level, you found your niche, you found that level or where the game slows down and you're like, hey, I can do this.
Right.
And from that point on, it takes maturity to be able to handle the success.
It does.
What do you attest to that along your journey? Because again, you've had some great coaches, great family base. So how easy was that for you to handle going through getting ready for college and everything?
I actually think it was easier because I had people to look at. I looked at my sister do it on her own. I looked at my mom do it on her own at that time. So I just think seeing them as women handling life situations, that pertains to the court. And sometimes you're going to be faced with adversity. Sometimes you're not going to be able to score. What else can you do besides score? You got to be able to defend. You got to be able to rebound. You got to be able to be a good teammate when things aren't going well. And that's what I learned is that no matter what goes on around you, you still got to remain positive and remain humble at the same time.
Yeah, we talked about Coach Willis, but yeah, the actual coach for the Lady Falcons was Coach Spears.
Yes.
Anelia Spears. And I remember we just had the retirement of Coach Franklin, the Millwood boys basketball head coach, and Anelia Spears was a few years before that.
Right.
Talk about Spears. I mean, because just like for Franklin, for Spears, all of former players and former students that she coached and taught throughout her time at Millwood came to support her and celebrate her retirement with her. Talk about the impact Coach Spears had on you.
She's impacted me tremendously because she taught me not just the game of basketball, the game of life. She's not going to let you be average. Either you want to do it or you don't. She's not going to beg you to be a hard worker. She's not going to beg you to come to the gym. She's not going to beg you to do what you're supposed to do. Either you're going to do it or you get out the door. That's just what she's going to tell you. And that's what I learned from Miss Spears is that you come in every day and give it your all. She's going to be on you. Just take it for what it is and do what you need to do.
And getting those lessons from Coach Spears, from Coach Don Willis. And now let's fast forward. I'm jumping here. Did you ever see Hall of Fame and the NAIA coming on the other side of that horizon after high school, after college?
No. My main goal was to get a scholarship so my mom wouldn't have to pay a dime.
That's it, huh?
That was my main goal.
That was it.
All the other accolades, if it came, it came. If it didn't, I was blessed to have a scholarship and get my degree.
There you go. Talking to Kesha Watson, folks, former Lady Falcon, and is about to be inducted into the NAIA Hall of Fame. Big game in Millwood for your Lady Falcon history. What's your biggest game? What's your hardest game? Your best game? What really sticks out to you?
The best game that I was in was my junior year. We played Kesha Hall. It was a 6'2" post player, Isis Tillis.
Okay. She
was rated the highest in Oklahoma, so I took that as a challenge, and we ended up going to the last seconds. I missed 2 free throws to win the game, and then they came down and scored, and we lost.
Oh, wow!
So it was a good experience because that was one of my best games offensively per se. But it stuck with me that we were able to hang with one of the top players in the nation. So
you missed those 2 free throws.
I did. I hit the back of the rim,
and obviously it's still there with you.
It is.
Yeah.
I still feel it because it was a packed house.
I remember in Little League and football, I dropped 2 footballs.
See, you remember those things.
It
does.
Yeah. I hate that, man.
It does. But those are the things that, because you hit it any other day.
Right.
But it was just one of those games, but I remember it to this day.
Was that your toughest opponent, too, as far as matchup, one-on-one?
Yeah, because she was a beast.
Yeah.
She was a beast. But I just think, at the end of the day, it made me the player I am today.
There you go. There you go.
Now, jumping into the college.
Okay.
What was why the selection of OCU? What went into that? What went into that process?
The infamous question. Everybody wants to know that.
You could have went. You could have went a lot of different places.
I could have.
Yeah.
But when I walked into OCU, I felt it.
Yeah.
I was all about small classes, coming from Millwood. Having that one-on-one attention, and also they had just won 3 national championships. The point guard was leaving, so what better way than staying home, getting a degree, and winning championships?
There you go.
You know, everybody
There you
always wants to make the accolades. You know, why not the big D1? But when you made your decision, I love what you just said. It was about heart and the feeling. And all too often we get thought about, oh, what stage am I performing from? But what this clearly shows is that if it's meant for you, it still comes.
It does.
And it doesn't
Full
matter.
circle.
Full circle. So it doesn't matter what level that you're playing at if it's the right spot for you.
Yeah, and I wasn't the player to get caught up in the Division Ones, because I was always about, if you're good, they're gonna find you. If you're good and you want to play, you know, overseas or whatever, they're gonna find you. Regardless if you're in the small state of Oklahoma City, they're gonna find you. And OCU was the best decision for me.
And with that, talk about your OCU career now. Hit the ground running. Talk about that process and those years playing basketball for OCU.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we had a senior point guard. She was All-American. The whole time she was there, she was All-American. So here I am, skinny little girl from Millwood High School, coming in here right away as a freshman point guard. And the first thing that my coach said, you don't have time to grow up. You got to grow up now. From the first start. So then, from then on, I knew I didn't have time to lollygag. I didn't have time to just wait on somebody else or wait my turn. I had to go in full throttle. And so that's what the adversity I had at Millwood helped me transpire to OCU. Because like she told me, I didn't have time. I don't have time to be a freshman. And I didn't. Because here you are. They just won 3 national championships. And you're coming in having to be the point guard.
So we got expectations.
Expectations.
We don't have time to wait.
Nope.
You don't have no cushion right there.
You got to meet it or sit down.
And that was year 2000?
Year 2000.
2001?
Yep.
And then, you know, a couple of years later, 2003, 2004, you're conference player of the year.
Well, that's because, you know, a lot of people told me I couldn't do it. She can't shoot. She can't defend. She can't do this. She can't do that. So I just took it as motivation.
I was on social media, and that's how I found out about Kesha being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I was on social media, and I was on Twitter, and she commented, I think, what is it? You retweet, and then you can comment on your retweet. And Kesha, what she